Yo, what's poppin', it's Romulus, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we got another replay analysis. Today we got an analysis from, of course, Harry Tompkins, M Messiah, and we got his Grand Champ rank up game here. So here we go, replay analysis, Grand Champ rank up game in 3v3. So let's see if we can pick it apart. I don't know why I'm doing this so extravagantly, but anyway, let's fucking get it, man. I don't know if full screen's actually going to be more efficient, because then you'll have this on the left at all times. But regardless, let's just see how it works. Okay, right. First things first, what are you doing? What's the point, right? You get the kickoff, fine. Not sure what the point in that flip was. Oh, not this again. By the way, I did figure out how to go back less than 10 seconds. And yeah, no flip on the kickoff, but it doesn't really matter. And you go here, right. What team are you on? Blue. Wait, no you're not. You're on orange. Why is it here? Regardless, right? This is going to be really weird because of the colour of your car. But coming back like this, there's not really much point coming this exact path, right? Because this ball is guaranteed to in some way, shape or form spill out to this side or go up like this. If you're in this position, which is funnily enough what happens, you end up getting bumped and then you can't do anything, right? So the first things first, you shouldn't have flipped right after the kickoff. And if you didn't do that, you would probably be about here, which is fine, right? Because at that point, then you can just kind of deal with whatever happens and then kind of sit here. But instead, you kind of rush into the play early and make it kind of awkward. Can I please play? Are you... And you actually bump your teammate out the way. And he should have scored like 100% of the time. So you flipped immediately after the kickoff. Absolutely no reason. And then you kind of just stuck around. So you make that awkward. That's fine. Okay, what's the point? What is the point? So you do this flip, who cares? You double jump off the back of the goal, right? You do this, fine. You do this, fine, right. What you have to do here, you have 36 boost. If you double jump off this, that means you'll land here, and then you won't have the ability to really jump up again by the time this kid shot it, right? So you kind of have to sit here. You can't jump off. You have to just try and stay in the air as long as possible, because this guy, if he hits it high, it will be outrageously difficult for you to save. So jumping off here is literally just... You're handicapping yourself, right? You're basically telling it, oh yeah, by the way, I won't be able to recover from this, so just shoot it above me. So double jumping off this, like you've lowered your nose as well. So literally, if he shoots anywhere high, you might as well drop your controller. So double jumping off or jumping off that didn't really do you any favors, and he ended up like just putting it past you anyway. So it was a bit of a rubbish situation, and you tried to make the best of it you could, but maybe if you didn't jump off, you could have fallen, and then maybe have kind of been hovering. If you use some boost, you maybe could have got a touch, like if you're hovering around here or something. But anyway, whatever. Alright, sit a bit, Jadon. That's fine, that's going to go in. Nice, right. So, okay, I'm going to have to go back 10 seconds every time, because going back 6 seconds doesn't seem to work. But you go for this, fine. Right, okay, so you're loitering back, but you're almost fully assuming that this guy will beat your... So this guy right here will just beat your teammate completely. And you'll kind of be left. But the problem is especially at this level of play, the probability of your teammate just getting outright completely and utterly beat for this guy to then, for the opponent here to then shoot on net is ridiculously low. Like, that is unlikely to happen. So being this far back isn't necessary. I would probably position myself closer to this, or maybe even like on that pad over there. So then if the ball does spill out, kind of like how it does, but if the ball does spill out in here, you're then in a position to actually go and attack the ball. And secondly, you're already positioned back, right? You're already positioned as if you're going to go make a save. Try and position inwards, like directly, like this. So then you can literally choose if you want to go up or if you want to come back, right? There's no reason, like, already, if you're basically just saying, oh yeah, by the way, I have absolutely no way of turning up for an offensive turn here. So it works out, but if this dude, if this guy was close to the ball and he actually had a decent touch off the wall and tried to center this, you would be easily capable of intercepting this, right? But you were too far back and you were turned defensively, so you made it a little bit more difficult. But it doesn't matter, because this dude can't really do his thing very well, and you get a perfect dunk. That's absolutely fantastic stuff. Also, I'm assuming the gameplay volume is fine. I'm assuming I'm not like blowing myself out or anything. I'll turn it down a bit. Okay. So your role here is to cheat on the kickoff. What I would advise doing is, as soon as you hear your teammate flip, look behind you. Just use your rear view and see where your teammate goes. Because if he goes right, then no matter where the ball spills out over here, given that your teammate can't get it, that's yours, right? But here it causes a little bit of confusion because you don't know where your teammate is. And yeah, you do see him in the top left for a brief split second. And then you do back off. And you do stay mid, which is good. This is all in. You're not going to achieve anything doing this, right? Yeah, okay, you get a touch and you might prevent a clear. Like, okay, so it's a tricky one, really, because these two have kind of fucked it. One of them should have already kind of assisted this guy, but neither of them have. So really, you have two options. You either go up for this and like get a pinch, right? If you get a pinch and then it will come back here, or what you do is you kind of just don't jump and just come over this way. And eventually, you can pretty much tell by the trajectory of the ball, this will either hit the wall over here, or one of these guys will hit it to the wall. So you can just go to the wall first, and then like attempt to kind of read what his touch is. Going for this like this is basically irrelevant, because now you've got a touch so weak that this guy, I think, is turned that way. He's already left, right? You don't really have an angle to do anything. So you've kind of just made it a bit awkward. You are leaving, which is good. Your teammate's on wall. And he scored. Right, I didn't even see what happened, but regardless, it went in. So that's good. Good stuff. Let's see if you flip on the kickoff this time. Yeah, you do. Nice. Nice, good kickoff. I mean, it could have been better, but at the end of the day, in threes, you don't need to, like, outright win the possession of the ball. You just need to make sure it's like not directly to one of their guys. So you did flip the wrong way technically, but regardless it worked out. Go for the pads, nice. Yeah, I think this is good. Go for the ball. Okay, right, that flip was pointless. So you go for this, right, defensive positioning. You took ball cam off for no reason, which probably didn't help you out. And you do turn, which is fine, but I think as soon as your teammate hits it this way, just you turn a little bit earlier. Like and if you turned a bit earlier, you'd be closer to here. And I think again, it's just easier to be closer to the play, because there's a lot of times where you will likely be like half a second too late to a ball, and then you will just get punished for it. So this is good. Your teammate goes right. First of all, this guy is unlikely to get any form of good touch. If he still has a flip, like if he got a flip reset, like when he landed, he can't really do much with this, like, whatsoever. So, because he's sat behind the ball will obviously stay by the wall. So, just getting onto the ball and taking it up is the key play here. Because, first of all, you hesitate, right? You hesitate. This is clearly yours to go for. Your teammate's already done his thing. You're already this close to the ball. So, this is yours to go for. So, the hesitation wasn't great. But flipping into the challenge, what's the point? Because this guy's already here. You're just going to pass it to him. So like I said, get up above the ball and take it up. And then hopefully you can maybe, like, you know, make a solo play, go for a double touch, or go for an infield pass or a ceiling shot or something. But this touch here is literally just a pass back. I should just realize that's still on screen. There we go. Again, the flip wasn't necessary, really. Like, you're trying to dive for something that you can't get. So you do this. Fine, yeah, I guess, but it works out. All of you are in the corner. Go all the way back. It's not fantastic, but it works. Okay, so it's very common that people do this. You go back, which is fine. That guy, your teammate's now left in the middle and he's coming back behind you. What I can tell, what you're expecting is the ball to hit here and then for it to bounce out, but it hasn't done that, so you start to panic a little bit. Ideally speaking, again, you have to make this as obvious as possible. You either go for this ball right now or you leave, right? Preferably speaking, try, I'd say, make some kind of touch, because if you leave, you had your teammate who was absolutely he was miles away from you, right? This guy can't really do much with it. And your teammate certainly can't who's behind you. So probably try and make some kind of presence. And if you're not going to go right away, just, again, avoid your teammate. But turn this way and kind of just stay with the play. Because, again, this touch is likely just going to kind of float around here. And the point is he's not going to shoot this, right? You can't shoot it. So you could stick around. But, again, that's why using rear view is great. Because then you can see how far away your teammate is. And you can make this judgment, but you kind of panic a bit and you kind of do nothing, and more or less it was basically just a free pass. Like, you sort of just went up to the ball, did nothing. Teammate really should have had that. Okay, right, so obviously the main misplay here was that he gets this, he misses. I don't like this flip that you do. I don't like, because at every instance during a flip you oh shit, what's back? Oh, whatever, I can't remember what to go back 6 seconds. But the problem is when you flip, every instant you are in the process of flipping, you can't do anything, right? So if you know, if he pinched this off the bar and it went this way or something, you now can't turn for it, right? Or if just something happens, I mean, the probability of something happening is very low. But it just, I don't know, it makes me uncomfortable when people flip at like uncertain situations. Like, just flip after this has happened. You don't need to rush back, because excuse me, you don't need to go right away, because if this guy completely fucks it and this guy gets bumped, it doesn't matter how much you flip, you're not getting to the ball before your opponent here. So that's fine, your teammate shouldn't be there. And yeah, don't come into the net. There's no real point. Because what happens is when you come into the net, this is something that happens in ones a lot, is you do not want to be too early to the net. Now, I understand it's a panic play situation, but first of all, you should be about here. Okay, well, okay, not right now, but you should be coming this way and coming directly back post and probably just waiting there. Because for a few reasons. Number one, if this guy gets a touch, it's going to spill this way, spill that way, or go straight up, right? If you were kind of like here right now, then you can turn for this ball. If the ball goes straight up, you can also turn for this ball. And if it goes to the left, then you can kind of just stick around and wait for the play to evolve. But going into the net like this, you've kind of just outright assumed that the ball won't spill out anywhere and won't go over you. So, or rather, you've assumed the ball's going that way, which is a bold assumption. And because of that, you come straight through the middle of the net, right? And because you're here early, you have to break. You end up sitting here, and then you have no momentum to make the save. If you were back post, you could still be waiting now, and then as he goes, kind of like creep forward a bit. And then, you know, go and make the save. But the problem is no matter how much boost you have in this situation, if this dude makes a clanger behind you, you can't save it, right? And because of your drift turn, you ended up not saving it. So make sure you go to the back post and don't go right through the middle of the net. That's good. Wait. Okay, it works out. It was a really good shot, actually. And that's in. Nice, well done. So that was really good. I mean, your teammates double committed. And this ball did come straight down. But I feel like you weren't fully prepared for something to happen. So both of your teammates are up here like so, right? And this K's guy could get an absolute clanger on this bounce, right? This guy can just absolutely send the ball over here. Absolutely send it. And you haven't turned yet. If he absolutely clangs this, you likely will not be able to turn in time. So what I would recommend is not creeping up this far. If you were a bit further back, like kind of where the kickoff happened, then you would have been A-OK. If we just go back here. Right, you do this. Sit here. Right, sit here. There's no reason for you to move forward to this position, because if your teammate gets a pass or something, you can still be relevant in the play, but you're opening as many options as you can. But creeping forward here makes it awkward. If you were back, right, if you were back where you were, like behind the halfway line or whatever, you could already be up for this, full boosting, absolutely no problem. This is blatantly, obviously yours, but because you came forward, you kind of had to stop. And you kind of lost your momentum a bit, and you do get a really good shot, which does end up going in, so that does work. But again, you made it a little bit more awkward than it needed to be, because if this guy was a half decent goalie, he would have just saved it to the corner. Otherwise, what you would have done in this situation is pass it off the backboard. Like when the ball was over here, when you went up for it, you would pass it off the backboard. It doesn't really matter because it went in, but again, just try and be a little bit more optimal in like all the outcomes that you're covering. Decent kickoff again. Teammates there. See, that is more or less what you should have done before. Right there. That's what you should have done before. You came, like what your teammate did. He came across the net when he made the save. Okay, this is an all-in move here. All of your teammates are in the corner. So this happens. This is what I was on about. Your teammate came across the goal. So you do this, fine. Again, you don't need to come into the middle of the net. Just come back here and sit here. Because both of your teammates are in the corner. Every single player on the pitch is in the corner besides you, right? So just sit here, because if the ball spills out, you can still go. And if a shot comes, you can save literally anything. So just sit back. You do not need to be actually in the net right now. The probability of an absolute clanger coming to this part of the net that you can't see is basically 0. So might as well sit here. And don't come into the corner. There's no point. If these guys are going to leave the ball, they'll leave it. If they want to go, they'll probably stick around and be a bit annoying. And if they're not going to leave, you'll be back post, so it's all good. And if this guy was a little bit quicker, you've just got scored on. Because look, all of you are now in the exact same place. And if you were back post, whatever shot this guy puts on net is easy. So again, you've made this awkward, but you do go for the long shot. You probably should have flipped through the ball instead of double jumping prior, but I'm not going to cover like mechanics here. That puts it up. See, again, your flip here, you completely... Right. So in this situation, this does this. You get the pop. Wait here. Well, not right here, but you should have come off the wall straight and sit here. Right, I would advise sitting here. The fact that you already decided to come off the wall is okay. I mean, you could stay on the wall, but just wait here, because a teammate could launch it to you if he sees you over here, and then you have a pretty nice redirect to shoot on net. But you have a really good offensive position here. These guys, you can't really see them through the smoke, but these two have kind of double committed, and one guy's all the way back, which means there's no midfield pressure. So if your teammates manage to get some form of pressure in the midfield, they can pass it directly to you. But jumping here, I mean, you have now completely and utterly made it impossible for you to go for this ball. And if you were still on the wall, or where I said to stop, you could go up for this. And you could pass it, you know, drop it down into the middle for teammate to get. Or whatever, but you've kind of just left the play here. You've kind of just left the play. And what you've done now is Kays has now got the midfield possession, and both your teammates aren't near the ball. So you've kind of just given the other team just kind of like a free play. He does pass it. Okay, that turn was wrong. Again, really, threes is all about predicting where the ball's gonna go and where to be. Again, the flip made it weird. You're like going really, really fast, anticipating the ball to spill out here, and you need to get to it right away. You don't need to. Just slow down. You're literally gonna stop anyway. So the problem is here. I mean, yeah, you're assuming that he's gonna pass this, and that's not a bad thing to assume. But the problem is if he did pass it, then you have opened up your entire, like, all of behind you and, like, all of your net, right? So you've made this more difficult than it needs to be. If you turned this way, then you would be back post for a save, right? You'd be back post for a save. But if you turn this way, which is what you are doing, you're not necessarily going front post, but you're assuming he's going to dribble because now you're in a shadowing position. And just in this situation, turning to the right also equates for the idea he hits the ball to the right. You know, also, if he clangs it off the wall, right, then turning right, you can just keep turning or gel. So again, you have to make sure you're turning in the directions that cover the most possible, the most angles. So you get that, that's fine. Good to take a touch. Could have been a bit quicker there, but I like the idea. No teammates was there, so you couldn't really send it backboard. I like the initiative. I like the initiative you've got here. This is good. So he misses on the backboard again. He's got slow recovery. He has a really slow recovery. So I really like the initiative for you to take command. However, you don't know where their third guy is. Their third guy could be behind you. He could be by the mid boost. Just while you're going for this, or while you're coming back, just look right. Just use your left stick or whatever to just look around, because if the opponent's by the mid boost, then it's going to be tricky. You have to go right away, and if he's nowhere near it, then you can take your time. But here, because you have no idea, you kind of just rush it and don't go in with a plan. You kind of just hit it for no reason, and obviously hitting it for no reason is not a good thing. And you flip away from the play again. Again, I don't like this. You're flipping way too much. So you get this touch, fine. It's irrelevant. You should just land on the wall and then just wait. Just land like here, like front of your car. I can't draw. Damn. Just land kind of. You've already jumped off the wall, right? So just land here, kind of where this is now. And just kind of drive up the wall and just wait for this guy to do something. Because if he clears it this way, then a teammate could get it. If he tries to hit it along the wall, you can get it. If he hits it this way, you can get it. Terrible drawing, but you get the point. Like, coming off the wall here is completely assuming he'll, like, pass it like this, and it'll land here for you. Which he won't do. So coming off the wall here kind of just negates all possibilities. And there you go. If you're on the wall, you could be in the process of getting this touch on this ball right here. But because you leave, you have to let your teammate come in, which nearly does work, but just not optimal. You get the boost, fine. Teammate's got it. Okay. I feel like you should be pushing up as soon as you see your teammate's got the win here. So, ball goes up, your teammate's up, he's winning this every single day of the week. Like, if he loses this, right? If he loses this, then it's not your fault, really. So really, I think you should be pushing up, because ideally, there's two things that are going to happen. Either your teammate cuts in the middle here, or he comes behind you. So if you were in the midfield, or coming towards it already, the guy coming back would have a more obvious time. Like this guy, would know, oh shit, my teammate's in the middle, I should go behind him. But now you're so far back, it's probably going to cause some confusion, and you're not going to have the options. And just like that, he turns in to go for a demo, which I guess is kind of like rotating behind you really, really slowly because he's not going for the ball. He gets a double touch, and that's a goal. Nice. So if you were a bit closer, let's see what the optimal play would be. So you'd already be here. He gets the touch. If this guy did not have a shit rotation, he would probably be here right now, and you would get beat to this ball. However, if you were like in the right place when your teammate went up, then you would literally already be able to score this. Like, you could go now, and that would make it so that it's absolutely impossible for the blue team to get away with this. But in some sense, like, if you shot right here, kind of weak, that guy can save it. But this kind of situation, if someone misses on the backboard like this should be punished absolutely every single time. But yeah, that was good. I think you just play a little bit too passive on your, like when you're third man, you come too far back. All in move, what's the point? The probability of you actually getting a touch here is so low. Like, here we go, you go for the touch, fine. You can try and go for a play, but you have to really make your mind up here. So it's awkward because this guy is far away and you could maybe get a 50, but he's either going to go up the wall and hit it as it rolls up into the middle, or he's going to hit it like over you. That's meant to go to the backboard. I can't draw 3D. So really, this situation's a bit dodgy. You likely have a teammate behind you, so maybe turning and going up the backboard is not the best idea. It's an idea you can use if you know he's going to clang it. So what I would probably do in this situation is creep up to him, and when you know better, like what he's doing, then go up the wall to try and challenge him, or just back off or something like that. Because sometimes you just have to let them win. But this is generally a good play for the blue team because this has clearly been planned. And if not, this dude's done a good job at reading it. So now, like I said, you're a bit closer, you have a better idea. He's going to beat you to the ball. And I can see you've already flipped. What's the point? So just keep going. And if he hits it low, try and just react to it. And if he hits it high, then... well, then you just have to make a judgment. I can't really teach you that. But if it goes high, you can work out, oh, if it's close enough for you to go, or if it's right over your head, just rotate this way. But don't flip. What's the point? You're already predicting where he's going to hit it, right? And he's nowhere near it yet. And look, just like I said, funny enough, it rolls up the wall and he hits it off the wall, likely into the middle. If you just waited a bit, then you could have intercepted this. But you go for an all-in dunk. And secondly, right, let's just assume you got the dunk. Let's assume you have the best mind-reading skills any human being has ever had. Ever, right? Here we go. You win this 50, what happens? Well, it's just going to roll here, and this guy is just going to go back and get it. Like, or, even if you got a perfect recovery off of it, you would still have the ball and you and a defender to get past with no shooting angle and likely no teammate. Like, there's not much you can gain from that, besides probably a little... well, you gain, territory. You gain territory, but that's about it. Teammate misses again. Great save from teammate. I don't like how long you took to turn around. Again, you don't know how long you have. So this K's guy is third man, right? This K's guy's third man. You kind of just have to... like, he can't get this. It's been hit so hard, he can't get it. And, yeah, you kind of take ages to turn around. You assume that he could still take a shot, which is why you go all the way back. So you go for this, whatever this is, right? Excuse me. Come back. Right. First things first. You're rotating through the net again, right? You're coming straight down the middle. Come this way, more to the left side, because again, if your teammate gets a really bad touch, and it kind of, well, it's not really bad, but if he just gets not what he wants, and it will kind of spill out over here, you'll be closer to it. And, funnily enough, if the ball goes over your head, you will be in a position to turn and go for the ball. And again, it just covers all angles being at the back post, because if this comes out over here, and the K's guy on your right takes a shot, then you'll actually have room to turn in. Otherwise, well, now you kind of have to assume he's shooting front post, if you get what I'm saying. Like, if you're in this position, you're immediately assuming where he's going to shoot the ball. So you've seen him to your right. As soon as you see that ball, you just have to assume he's not going to get it. And if he is, it's going to be a pretty weak touch. Or just, like, not a shot. Because it's unlikely you'll get a really hard shot here. And, of course, if you were rotating a bit back post, you'd probably be here by now. And, of course, keeping ball cam on helps too. So you can keep tabs on things. But yeah, don't go through the net so much. Good shot from teammate. Alright, your teammate kind of confused you there. I don't really blame you. Just wait. That's you. Pass. Okay. Shoot. Nice. Okay, I'm not sure what the defense was doing, right? So your teammate likely confused you here because he didn't want to go for the ball. So... really good decision to not go, because this guy on the backboard's gonna beat you to it. So that's good to sit around. But really, it's weird. I can't tell if you knew he was just gonna like, get a shit shot. But that was good for you to kind of stick around. Whether you turned in to receive a pass from your teammate or not, that's a different story. I'm not 100% sure what your way of thinking was, but. And to be honest, I don't know how well, like Champ 3s and stuff can reliably send the ball to like a, to like the wall and stuff. But regardless, here you don't make a terrible decision to shoot. But the problem is you have basically no momentum, and like, there's two defenders. I mean, yeah, this guy's gonna land like this, but it's still basically a long shot from absolutely miles away. So what I'd recommend is, on the bounce, I mean, again, there's no midfield presence from the blue team here, right? So just hit the ball in, okay, maybe not like that, that's a bit too close, but the ball will like land here, right? Just try and hit the ball infield like this for your teammate to then come and shoot, because such a situation should be unsavable. If you get a really good pass and then it's uncontested and someone has an easy shot, like that's an absolute banger. You're not gonna save that. So taking a shot here isn't great, especially the fact that your shot that you get wasn't great. But think about it, if this pass was along this line here, that's so unsavable. I mean, even if the guy doesn't shoot, then he can at least send it to the backboard for either you or the other teammate who's now behind you to go and get. The shooting here, you kind of just don't use the space you've been given. But regardless, this K's guy doesn't know how to defend, and you scored. So that was good. And it was good to recover from the touch you did get. I feel like no one knows. You don't know what you're doing. You see your teammates not going, and you kind of think, well, I kind of want to go, but then the rotation says I shouldn't. Right. So this guy, he's going to go up the wall, right? And, you know, you've been beaten to the ball already, so just leave. There's no point for you to be here. Just go this way. Go back post. This guy is going to wait here for the ball to come to him. And then, again, if you're back post, you can come up the field if he passes it, and you can make a save if this dude misses it. So don't come into the corner, because it's just awkward now, because now this guy is backwards on the wall, you're backwards on the wall, and the only form of offensively turned teammate you have is someone waiting on the backboard. That's not a good position to be in. But it works out, I guess. He gets a bump. Nice. All of that. Good. That is decent. Or he could have been a little bit better on the actual 50 itself. Okay, you've just bumped your teammate. That's fine. Get a touch. Good. I think here, just double jump. You can see him before, really. You have to just assume he's coming when you hit the ball off the wall. So just double jump. Just double jump into this point and then kind of try and 50 it up the wall. That'll kind of suppress his attack here, but you flip through it, you lose it. Yeah, so just focus on your 50s a little bit. And again, you've flipped. Well, clockwise, obviously, but you flip to the right. Again, you've rotated to the front post for some reason, and you've got in the way of your teammate. So, again, you don't need to flip here. There's no point. But it was a good decision to come back, because you had, like, bad momentum. If I have a look at this again. Shit.
Yeah, you see it?
Hey, Matt Form YT. Hello there, my fellow coach. Welcome. Hello. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Anyway, so as I was saying, you get this touch, fine. Double jump on this challenge, alright, would be optimal. So you have 37 boosts. Okay, you have 37 boosts, and especially if you double jumped, your recovery would have been way better. So you can sit here, right, and move upwards, because this guy's nowhere near you. Your teammate could likely get this ball, and maybe make a pass to you on the wall. But because you flipped and you got a dodgy recovery, you started panicking, and then you spammed flip all the way to your net and bumped him. But yeah, how are you doing, Matt? Welcome to the stream, buddy. No one else at the thing. Nice, good. You decided to go when your teammate did not want to go. Nice, that's good to hear, dude. Yours. And the touch itself doesn't do anything, right? So you have to think about what your touches are doing. At the Grand Champ level, this is really, maybe not at like low 1500, but a Grand Champ is really where it starts to become more important about what you do with the ball, more so than like how you do something with the ball. So here, the ball rolls up, right, we're doing our thing. He's left you. No one is up for this, right? And if someone is up for this, they are absolutely miles away, because, you know, they'll be off your screen and they'll be miles away. So just take a touch. Just touch this ball up here. It will kind of float around, and just keep driving around the wall. And, well, that'll do two things. It'll bring this guy in, and your teammate will likely come to support you, and you can beat this kid and make a pass at the same time. So just go along the wall, carry it to like this point and then just kind of hit it off the wall or something. But hitting the ball here, again, it's pointless. Like, what's the point? You hit the ball off the wall, great. But now, okay, you go for another dunk, which actually worked out. But you more or less passed it to them, and now they have an offensive play going. Not sure what your teammates are doing, to be honest. And you did, again, you went through the middle of the net, but I'm not going to cover why again. Already said that a few times. No one knows what they're doing. Right, so again, you have to be able to evaluate what's happening. The only time you shouldn't be doing something is if you absolutely 110% know you don't need to be. So this touch goes over, fine. Wait here. You do not need to go for this ball. You cannot get this off the backboard, right? Your teammate is in the net, which you saw before you turned around. Do not go for this ball. Just sit here, or even sit where you are now, because you can't go at the backboard right away. Just sit here, because this guy, it's weird now, because this guy probably should have gone for this off the backboard, and then you didn't look. But again, just wait more. You don't have to be going 950 miles an hour at all times. What's the point again? Right. I like the idea. You want to keep the pace of the game high so then you can have like momentum and start a big counter attack. But the problem is he's giving you the ball. Take a touch. Right, take a touch. Even if it's just a light touch this way, at least you can then cut in and shoot it. Right? Just don't pass it to him. Like, you don't even necessarily have to really touch it at all. You can, like, back off a bit and let the ball kind of roll this way. Because this guy can't really do anything about that unless you go high up the wall. So, hitting the ball here is irrelevant. There's not really any point you doing it. But yeah, you kind of dilute that opportunity. I'm not a huge fan of how you turned in, but it worked out and I think people would be able to read it. You got a 50 that. You got a 50 that. So it comes back. Right. First of all, you turn the wrong way. You know your teammate's going to win, so turn this way, out of the net instead of into the net. You've made a defensive turn when you're going to offense. That's a problem. That's fine. Now, here's where vision comes in handy. You see two of the opponents are right there. That means the third opponent is somewhere that is not on your screen, which is, where is the most likely to be? Well, it's probably going to be the mid boost, right? It's likely going to be the mid boost. That's the hot spot for usually people who are not in the play, right? So he's going to be at the mid boost. You see him. You have seen this man coming for miles, and because you did a defensive turn, you're actually late to this. If you did an offensive turn on the goal line, so if you turned that way, you turned anti-clockwise, you would have beaten this guy to the ball and you could probably shoot, right? But because of that, you're actually a little bit late. And you should be able to see that it's going to be a 50-50 opportunity, and you can 50 this really, really easily. If you hit the middle of the ball here, right, it's going to spill out left because he's coming so hard from his left, right? It's unlikely to come straight up if you get into the middle of the ball. But you can't leave this. You know, you got to remember, your teammates are watching you go challenge. They're expecting you to touch the ball. So if you left that and you had a teammate that was like here, ready to deal with whatever like happened, that's just going to go straight in because you left the ball. But it works out. Again, you don't need to flip back. You do not need to flip back. Your teammate has already dealt with it. So whatever. Fine. That challenge happens. Right. This has happened. If the third guy somehow is already up for this, flipping makes it impossible to save. You're kind of countering what you're countering what you're trying to do. So I never got coaching. How does this work? If you do exclamation point replay in the chat, it'll highlight some ideas. It will highlight what to do basically and how it works. But basically, you just record a replay. And then you upload it to like Google Drive or whatever, and then you put it in my Discord and stuff. And then when I've done the replay, I upload it to YouTube, just like this one. It'll be on my YouTube channel as well, so that's nice and easy. But anyway, back to the replay. So you've gone back. You've gone back, which is, I think, definitely not a bad thing to do. You've gone back because you're assuming, oh shit, you know, what if the What if the third guy comes in and challenges this? That's fine. But the problem is, you flip, and the act of actually flipping makes it impossible to save. So you make a decent decision, but then you make it impossible to work with. And funnily enough, you come into the net, right? First of all, you shouldn't be this far back anyway, but you come, like I said, for the final time I'm going to say this, come here. Do not come straight into the net. If you like are preparing for a shot to come or you're waiting for something to happen, do not do this. Secondly, I mean, ideally speaking, especially at this rank, people will not just immediately challenge everything, especially when both of their teammates are like in front of them. So probably just assuming that and turning up a little bit as your teammate boomed it would be optimal, because as you can see, you're now miles behind. But that's the general premise. I'm not going to mention the back post thing anymore. Said it like 4 times. Oh my god, that was close. That's not yours. Okay, right. So you got to be careful. So you get a dodgy touch here, nearly own goals. Wait. Just wait. Sit here again. Your teammate is in the net, right? This guy's fucked it. So ideally speaking, what should happen is this guy should go and chase the ball and try and just attack it before they, throw it over the net or out to their third man. So just kind of sit here, just wait to see what happens. Because now you've pushed in, you aren't really defending anything. Because this guy, he's going to go for the ball. He sees it coming across the net. He probably doesn't see you. So he's going to hit the ball. So waiting where you just came from would make you a passing option. But now doing this, you're not. And also you should see that this is your teammate's ball. And that no one is coming. That's another thing as well. No one was really challenging the ball anyway. Wait. See, I'm not going to mention it, but I am. I can't help it. See, this is a prime example. Sit here. You don't know what's going to happen. Just wait. Wait right here, because you can go up the backboard if this dude hits it high. You can go for a save if he shoots. Like, coming into the net is making this thousands of times more difficult than it needs to be. It was good to turn out, but you don't really... okay, right. So really, this entire situation went wrong. Well, for a few reasons. Number one, you double committed on the goal line and weren't available. And 2, you didn't wait here. Right? You didn't wait here, that's fine. Then you kind of panic a bit. And yeah, I don't really blame you for not getting a touch. But again, it's panicky. Teammate got a very shit save and they scored. So that's because you didn't wait. You rushed it. Oh, nice. Yup. Using kickoff, nice. You lost it on purpose to the back right, which is good. Sit there. I really, really, really like how you're not using any boost whatsoever when you're not in the play. This is absolutely fantastic. Right, this is absolutely brilliant stuff. It's great. You're not wasting anything. You don't need to use boost, so it's great stuff. You don't need to get pads, so it's fine. But in this situation, if we assumed you didn't have 100, just make sure you also don't use boost then and make sure you're getting pads. But this is really good that you're not like wasting unnecessary boost. That's fine. I would have thought that would be yours to go for. Fake challenging is a strange 1 in 3s. Yeah, you go for this. You first of all... it's weird because you could think, oh well, if I go for this guy will just boost it past me, and you are technically last man, but given the trajectory this guy's already jumped with and he hasn't used any boost yet, the likelihood of this guy saving boost just for you to specifically challenge for it to then go past you with absolutely no speed is basically 0. And to be honest, pretty much if this guy's going to touch the ball, it's going to be weak and this guy will be back. So yeah, it's risky and you got to take risks, but I think this is yours to go for. But you kind of back off, and then what happens is your teammate's underneath you, this guy's not back, you get a bit of a dodgy touch, so you should probably just realise what your opponents can and can't do. That's a really good touch. Okay, nice, that was really good. So I can imagine you kind of got nervous here, you thought your teammate was going to go. That's fine, you probably could have gone for that, we've already discussed this, and this is a shot. Nice, really good stuff. Clinical shot. Yeah, you've come down the middle of the net again, but I'm not going into that. Nice, I guess you just dealt with the problem pretty quickly. That was decent. It's not yours, don't go. Again, gotta be careful. I'm going to say it one final time, just wait. There's no reason for you to go. First of all, the elephant in the room, you got a 3-goal lead and 30 seconds left on the clock. It's losable very, very easily. You don't need to be offensive here. You can just play safe, right? So sit here, just wait for something to happen, and, I mean, you saw your teammate there. You have to assume he's going. But this is yours now. Yeah, again, it's awkward. It makes it awkward. Now he's got a breakaway. Could be a goal. Almost. And again, because you made it a little bit awkward, you were a little bit late up into the midfield. Yeah, see, because you came into the corner, you weren't really ready for anything. And if you didn't come into the corner, guess where you'd be? Well, you'd be smack bang in the middle of the pitch. This dude could bang it to you, and it's an easy goal. But unfortunately, I mean, I'm not sure why the other guy is kind of just sitting there behind your teammate. That's fine. Get a touch. Nice. Get demo, that's fine. Teammates is playing really, really aggressive. Close. And that's a replay. Nice. Okay, so again, this last play, you're probably just kind of just a bit nervous at this point. But being this close is interesting because your teammate's going for a double, right? Don't know why, to be brutally honest with you. You're not going to score this. But you're kind of just... again, you aren't really preparing for the worst because this can still bounce down and, like, not straight down. It would make it a little bit awkward, but... yeah, no, it's the end of the game. You're probably not too fussed about that. And it does manage to spill out, and it does happen. So that was the replay. So, generally speaking, what I would recommend you do... oh, what? Can I really not play that just again? Can I just not replay? Is that just not a thing? Oh, here it is. Right, nice. So, basically... oh, bollocks. Right. So basically, the things you should work on are basically when you come back to recover from a challenge or something, just wait to see what happens, right? Wait for a pass. So, like earlier on when you were up here and you just immediately gel, just wait. Whether you either wait on the wall or you come off the wall and sit here, I mean, that's situational. But just wait around. Wait for a long ball pass to come, right? Secondly, when you come back from defense and you're not immediately required to go for the ball, just wait. Again, just sit there. Okay, maybe not just sit there, but just wait. You don't need to go, and by constantly going, you force your teammates to fill space that you've made, right? So if we imagine a little diagram, we've got the goal, right? And then you end up going from this position here to this position. Well, then the guy who's third man now thinks, holy shit, well now there's an absolutely outrageous distance between me and my teammate, and if the ball comes here, you'll go, and then, oh shit, well if you miss, then I'm going to be 8 seconds too late. Well, if you were here, then you'd think, okay, well, whatever happens, he has time to go, right? And that means I have time to come back. So you keep everything more organised and allow the play to sort of not fall apart, which is why it got pretty panicky when you rushed into the middle. So yeah, to summarise again, so wait around when you're recovering from something just to see what happens, and don't rush to a certain decision. That's number one. Number two would be stop flipping so much. You flip a lot, assuming a case happens, and then the actual flip itself makes the case you're preparing for impossible to deal with, if not just really, really hard to deal with. And thirdly, probably just don't rotate through the middle of the net. Now, it's a bit different than the first point, like how about waiting around? But when you do come to the net, whether you're in a rush or not, don't come straight into the middle. Like, you don't have to wait every time, but when you do come into the net, come at the back post, because then at least you have access to the backboard. And yeah, basically that's it, to be honest. That's pretty much all the things you need to do. And I mean, there's a few little things like making sure you get the 50/50s, you know, making sure you do the right turns, but you didn't double commit or anything. So that's the main thing. You seem to know what you're doing with the rotation, which does make sense. You are a high-level player, and obviously there's just a few little things to iron out. So that concludes the replay, and nice.